Well, folks, the writing has been on the wall for a few days now. I think you've probably seen the immense frustration I had with the transfer window earlier in the week, and the realisation that, cliche or not, we probably have taken Fulham as far as we can because the players we need to be able to take the team to the next level don't want to come to us. So it is with a heavy heart that today is the day we say goodbye to Fulham and meet Club 5 of this year's non-league to legend. Hello and welcome to Club 4, part 32 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're going to do a little bit of a review and a goodbye and a look back at our time at Fulham. And then in the second half of the episode, we're going to reveal who the new team is. Don't just post it down in the comments. Let people be surprised. No spoilers if we can avoid it. You know, I know some of you are monsters and we'll do it in capitals right at the top of the comments anyway. But we will accept the new job, meet the new team, and have a look to see what we're in for. I've never taken a job just after the transfer window has closed before. This seems like a potentially bad idea because I'm effectively getting a full season, and I will be viewed as if I'm having a full season, but I'll be getting a full season without a pre-season and without being able to bring in my players. So I'm potentially stupid for doing it. But like I said in the intro, so it's been so frustrating here at Fulham not being able to bring in the kind of players that I wanted to bring in, especially with how good we've been this season. We've started the season with a bang. We've been doing very well in the Europa League. We're very well positioned to get into the Europa League group stages. I've set the team up for a nice little 3-0. Liam Thorne and Simon Hall being superstar young English players, along with the likes of James England. Just all very, very good young players. And whoever takes over from me should be able to just finish that job off and get into the group stages, and hopefully the future is very bright for Fulham, but it's a future that is basically mid-table Premier League, flirtations with the Cups and Europa League football forever, and that's not a future that I want to be part of, because I don't think that's the future that makes you a legend. So let's have a little look at the at our history here at Fulham. In fact, I'm trying to remember what buttons I can safely press without revealing who the new team is. So if I look at my manager history, this is actually a screen people often ask to see. So let's have a look at my profile. So that's my profile. I did start with the lowest. I clicked the buttons at St Albans to say what previous experience and what qualifications I had. But St Albans were brilliant and put me through most of my coaching badges while I was there. And I think I finished that job off. Might have finished it. I think I finished it at Forest Green, got my Continental Pro licence. So I've had that for a little while. Adaptability is one. That's going to be relevant in a few minutes' time because we're leaving England. There you go. There's your first clue. And let's have a look at my managerial history. So my time at Fulham, it has been my longest time at any one club. I've been here just under 4 years, 1,351 days as my fourth club. Spent a lot of money. I've now spent £197 million on players and only sold £51 million worth. I could have doubled that by selling Simon Hall, as some of it didn't. And I want to see do I get a biography like players do? Because that will nicely summarise what we've done at Fulham, hopefully. Or in fact, landmarks. Here we go. So if we have... No... Is there not one that says where our league finishes have been at Fulham? This is the one. So we came into Fulham in 2022... when they were mid-table in the Championship, and we immediately started off with an FA Cup run where we lost to Reading and it was horrible, but we did get promoted from the Championship, the first time of asking, having started midway through the season, so that bodes well for the upcoming year. So that was back in 2023. So we've now had 3 full seasons in the Premier League, and our Premier League finishes have been an 8th place, followed by a 6th place. That explains why we've had to do all the qualifying this year, because we finished 7th. So we actually dropped down a little bit. 2 seasons in the Europa League. But, the main thing is we've not actually won a trophy at any of our clubs so far. We got promoted with St Albans through the playoffs. We got promoted as runners up with Fulham. So my biography tells me that after however many years of management now, what has it been? 8 years of management? I still haven't actually won anything, and that's something that needs to change. But I did win Premier League Manager of the Year, which is very nice. Let's have a final look at the team. I know we've just done a season review, so we're not going to dwell on this too much, but I just want to really have a look at who are going to be the potential players that we look to bring with us to where we're going, because we are going to have the potential opportunity to do that. I can't show you the potential column. So our best players that we're leaving behind: Kubik, Mirabella, Hall, definitely keeping an eye on those. Players with the best potential: Kubik, Garces, Mirabella, Hall. They're probably the four. They're the four that I'm going to look to bring with me. And there is sad news. David Noble was not interested in a move to Germany, where I'm going to be going. I think I've mentioned the club. You now know where I'm going, because I've mentioned applying for them. But David Noble didn't want to come, so he's going to be staying here at Fulham. And he has really established himself as a bit of a superstar coach here at Fulham. Came in. This is the goodbye to David Noble. It's very sad. Came in as a under-18s assistant manager after I'd been here about 9 months. So I didn't ever take him to Bristol Rovers. He was obviously a player for me at St Albans, became a coach at St Albans, took him with me to Forest Green. He then didn't want to leave Forest Green to come to Bristol Rovers with me, but I did manage to hook up with him again at Fulham not long after by bringing him in as an under-18s assistant manager. And then my director of football promoted him after 2 months in the job to first team coach. And he's been brilliant for the last 3 years as a first team coach. So I would love to take him with me. He's been an invaluable member of the team, but he's going to be staying here at Fulham. And I'd like to think he's going to be the one who takes over as caretaker manager while I'm gone. He won't get the job permanently, but I'd like him to manage a couple of games because I think he deserves it. But it is time to say goodbye to Fulham. Goodbye, Fulham. And hello, Hamburg, which is where we're going to be going next. We do need to sort out a contract. We haven't sorted the contract yet. So contract info. I'm currently earning £28,000 a week. So they're immediately offering me a slight pay rise. But obviously, I've got to move to Germany. They are offering me a 3-year contract. So we're going to try and bump this up a little bit. Let's really try and push it a long way and see what we can get away with. So can we get it up to maybe £39,000 a week? That becomes a significant pay rise on a 3-year contract. Obviously, we'll have to find a house in Germany in tomorrow's episode. But goodbye, Fulham, and hello, Hamburg. So I've moved to Germany. I wasn't ready for this. I wasn't expecting it. So Hamburg are a team in the Bundesliga. They are a rich team who are in the Europa League, having finished ninth. They must have won a cup last season. Having finished 9th in the Bundesliga last year. Have been a mid-table Bundesliga team for a little while. Have flirted with a 6th place finish at some point. I mean, we talked about this when we were looking at new potential jobs, because to me, I've just moved to the Bundesliga version of Fulham. But I think I was never going to get to move on to that next big job in the Premier League by going to a club similar to Fulham in a different league. And if I can have Fulham levels of success with Hamburg, then maybe by showing I've done it in 2 different leagues, that might be enough to get a big German team or maybe a big English team to come in for me and say, actually, this guy knows what he's doing. He's willing to go out there and do it again somewhere else. Plus, the idea of being at a club that are rich, are already in the Europa League, so we've got a decent starting position, have a much bigger ground, more money to play with. I think there's more potential to do a good 2 or 3 years here and maybe push for that Champions League finish that realistically we were never going to get if we stayed with Fulham. Fulham got £3.9 million compensation for me. Who took over? Fernando Morientes has taken over as manager for now. He was my assistant manager and has taken over as caretaker manager. I guess he was the obvious one ahead of David Noble. But let's have a look to see what the world has got to say about what we've just done. I'll do the all that stuff off camera in a second because that's boring to see. But this is a little more interesting, just having a look to see what the situation is. We've got a key player and a first team player both currently injured, which is a bit of a problem. Who have we got who's unhappy? Why are you unhappy? Tatsuya Aito. because you want a new challenge. You've achieved everything you think you can. I mean, yeah, you've been here a while. Well, what are you? You're a winger. We might need you. We'll keep an eye on you. Oh, well, I've already got to choose my captain. Just stick with what it is at the moment. Right, I'm just going to go and do all of the talking to everybody, and then we'll meet the team and have a little look around. So, meeting complete. Couple of interesting things to come out of it. Firstly, just to confirm the philosophies we've agreed to as part of being manager of Hamburg. We're going to play attacking football, make the most of set pieces, sign young players and develop young players. So really a continuation of what we were doing at Fulham, but we must make sure we're playing attacking football that makes the most of set pieces with lots of young players filtered throughout the team. And the other interesting thing is the fact that we've got a B team. I've never managed anyone that's got a B team before. I've just agreed to let the manager of the B team be in control of transfers and contract renewals in the B team. So I don't know what that means. Is this like reserves? Let me know down in the comments how B teams work. Explain that to me, because I guess it is different from a reserve team, because our B team are playing in an actual league. They're playing in the 3rd division, which doesn't look like I've got loaded. What German leagues have I got loaded? This might be a problem. Germany, I've got the 1st and the 2nd division. Probably need to add the 3rd division fairly soon. So let's add the 3rd division, and we could potentially... I don't want to kill off these divisions in England. No, we'll leave it like that for now. We'll just add the 3rd division. So that will come in for next summer. So this season our B team aren't going to be actually playing real games, which is a potential problem. So this is the history of the club. Champions League winners. When did Hamburg win the Champions League? I probably could have just read the history. So, professional German club playing in the Bundesliga, lifted both those cups in 2026. So that was last season. That's why they're in Europe. Club play games there. Youth, blah, 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 blah. Club enjoyed its best spell of success in the 1980s. Last competition win was last season with those 2 cups. A growing history. Won the Champions League in 1983. Finished runners-up once. Won the German top division 6 times. When was the last time they won the Bundesliga? Probably a lot. So we've actually picked up a bit of a sleeping giant here, haven't we? I know nothing about German football. So it's been a long time. So yeah, it was back in the late 70s, early 80s that Hamburg were any good by the looks of it. A Champions League win in there as well, and always competitive. So we need to bring back the 80s. I was already preparing lots of hamburger puns. Now I'm going to have to dress as 80s Kev to be able to do the job as well. This is all of a sudden becoming super fun. So let's have a look at the team report. Looks like we used 4-2-3-1 over the 4-2-3-1 wide over the last couple of seasons. So they're actually telling me what tactic they've used successfully in the past. This is good. Having press going forward against a 4-4-2. I don't need to know how we do against stuff. We've got lots of wage budget left. Is the German transfer window still open? It's the 23rd of August. Where would I find that out? I'll look for that in a second. But we might actually still be able to bring in players. In fact, if we look on here, rules, transfers, where's squad registration? Players can be registered. So the transfer window is still open. So although our transfer window in England had closed, we could potentially go and steal one of our Fulham players now with the money that we've got. We'll look at that in a second once we decide what we need. So blah, 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 lots of good players. I think we're just going to try and use a 4-2-3-1 variant of what we were doing at Fulham, the control possession system, because it was working well. We needed left back. We could do a central midfielder. I mean, this is a familiar tale. Not very good at finishing. Okay, introductory advice. We'll worry about that another time. Contract renewals we're not going to look at now. But what we will do is we'll say, right, we want to do a control possession 4-2-3-1 wide, because that's what we know they're good at doing. So we want to do that, and if we quick pick and see what we've got that fits that, we are a bit weak in central midfield. So squad depth. Although looking at that, we've got a couple of good ones. Just they're perhaps not suited to those positions, so we just need to adjust the positions around a little bit. So we're all right for a couple of wingers. Good depth at strikers, attacking midfielder. I mean, this looks like a good squad. Kubic is the one I want. Can we just go and try and steal Kubic? Probably can't afford him, but Let's at least try and bring him with us. 6 months after I paid £4 million for him, I'll give you £20 million for him. We've made that inquiry. We're going to try and bring him in, and then let's have a look at what the expectations are for the season. So, Bundesliga, only 18 teams in it. Media are predicting an 11th place finish. The board, where's the board? Why can't I see the board? The board are looking for top half finish. I think we should have enough about us to finish in the top half of the Bundesliga this season, if not push for a European qualification place. This looks like it's going to be fun. When's our first game? We've got a week to go for our first game. They did lose the opening game of the season. What happened to the previous manager? That's probably the other thing we should check. How do we? General history, managers. Previous manager, Eduard Graf, went to manage Schalke. So he went up in the world, I guess. Okay. I am cautiously optimistic. I need to go and have a little bit of a play around behind the scenes, try and sign Kubik, and then we'll be back tomorrow for the first game of the new season, or our second game, my first game in charge against Wolfsburg, plus the former manager, who's now at Schalke. We get to play him. And of course, we're going to try and find a house in Germany, which, do they have Rightmove there? How on earth am I going to do this? I might have to do an Airbnb. If you've enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.